That camera looks askew.
Well, so are we.
And I know.
This is the.
We're going to be like this. Maybe we should lean the other way.
Yeah. This porch is askew, too.
It
It's
is.
definitely tilting.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to the Moon Underwater. I'm Kelly Daniels.
Steve Jones.
And here we are.
Once
with
again.
the great Sara Kain Gutowski. How you
Not
doing,
late.
Cheers.
Sarah?
I'm a little late.
A little late.
Tad
Not the kind of late
Cheers.
that I was thinking of.
She's not dead.
Right. That's,
That'd be
Not
a
dead
corpse.
yet.
That's
I know.
just-
I was with some English folks over here, the professor types. I was trying to be smarter, like you recommended I be at our meeting.
You prescribed that?
He did. he thought I should be smarter. That was his first point of feedback for me.
We recorded our meeting. We've only had one meeting, and
We've
we
had a
decided
meeting.
to record it. So it kind of brought the worst out in me. And but anyway,
Yeah.
Did you sit
so
across from each other
Sarah-
at a long boardroom table?
like Putin and talking to
would've
Macron
been
or something
amazing.
like that. Yeah, we don't
Next
have
time.
the camera for it, but we'll get there.
The iPhone 15 Pro is just not good enough for that.
For that, well, we need two of them.
Yeah.
And so, Sarah, I understand you traveling all the way from New York to see us because you love but coming back only
big
after
deal.
a
Came here
couple
for the
weeks
50.
later. All I can say is if you love a pod, you love a pod. So
It's true.
welcome.
I know.
Glad
Thank
to have
you.
you here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
But
You're
this
the
time
first
we
repeat
actually
guest, actually. That's
That's. Yeah.
I know you're the only guest so far, but
I thought you
still,
were having somebody else on.
still the best.
we have a few in the works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the foreshadowing for us.
Yeah.
That's
Literary
why I'm
thing.
here.
You guys are smart. I like that. All right.
So this time we put you to work, and we asked you to come up with the topic today, and you chose John Steinbeck, who really has a lot of connections with George Orwell. They
Wait, really?
lived in, I think they do, and I can that's one of my little notes that I don't actually have before me. It's all up here.
wow.
I'm pointing at my
He's just
head.
showing off
if you're
now.
not, yeah, it's just that's my one note.
Yeah.
Is
I
that
like it.
there's but I know that this is so. Do you want to take it over, Sarah, and just tell us about what's interesting about this piece, what the piece is, and we can go from there.
Yeah. So maybe I'll do like a little bit of background that when I was, am I not close? Hello.
There we go. That's better.
When I was in grad school, I was writing some poems that were based a little bit in like Appalachia and talking about the female side of a lot of like the folk songs and things, and I just became really interested in some of that music. And then I think that ties in. I think the tie-in was that in the beginning of the Grapes of Wrath, like Tom Joad, like he's talking about like getting a band together or something, like he's a musician of sorts, but then he realizes his family is, because he's just gotten out of jail, and he realizes his family is.
Wait a minute. You're describing the Blues Brothers. That's, sorry. Just we're getting the band back together.
You're
Now
right.
I know where it came from.
You're right about
All
that.
right. See, I was smarter there. Sorry.
Nope, no, it's good. Well, now we have to do that.
Oh, yeah.
The Blues
Yeah.
Brothers.
There's definite connections there. But anyway.
I used to have a friend in high school that would always refer to the grapes of ass, which is hemorrhoids. So that's just. I thought I'd share.
Wow.
Thank you.
You're
That's
nothing if not
just
classy.
The level of
There are times you can hold back,
we haven't even started yet. We're
Oh.
already getting into it,
Oh.
and I don't remember much about our first recording. I have to
don't
say,
It was,
so I don't know what I said and what I didn't.
Surprise!
And,
It's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
It
Oh, it
should.
is. It's tomorrow.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Amazing.
That is amazing.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So, what the band getting band get
Sorry.
together and
Anyway, I was like, I think it opened up that connection. Something I was like looking into the book, and then I just got caught up in reading the book again. And then, there's
recently?
No, this
Oh.
was back in grad school.
Okay.
When I had time for reading the entire Grapes of Wrath again,
Which is
I do
700
not.
or
It's a
800
hefty
pages.
book. You
Yeah.
can kill somebody with it.
Needless to say, I have not read it or listened to it. So I'm ill prepared.
Well, there was a movie, so there's kind of like a cliff.
I didn't even watch
It's
that
also
one.
black and white, so
Yeah. But Henry Fonda.
It is Henry Fonda.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, and
Foreshadowing.
and,
Like that?
and John Ford, director.
Oh.
Big time stuff.
It's a cowboy movie director.
Oh, you know what? This ties into some of my notes that I've been taking while listening to your podcast. And one of them would say, were you not alive in the 70s? Did you say that correctly?
I was not.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
He's a child.
This feels
1980.
wrong.
I
On your
rule.
podcast.
He
Like,
seems as old as me, even older.
Probably
I feel
older.
like I'm the kid.
I'm a 90-year-old
And-
trapped in a 44-year-old's
Yeah.
body. Yeah.
No.
yeah. So that's why. That's why.
He doesn't want to be a
Nobody
millennial.
made you watch a
he
black and
hates
white
the
movie
millennials
and- no.
because he is one.
No,
He just-
not a self-hating
Self-loathing.
millennial.
Closeted.
No.
Yeah.
I'm firmly,
It's okay. It's
firmly
okay,
with
man.
Generation X.
It's okay.
Team X.
Team X. You
Yeah.
gotta
I don't
be, man.
blame you there.
Yeah.
All right, so so
Okay.
I actually had to go look up what Grapes of Wrath was even about.
Oh, okay.
I had no clue.
And were you so excited?
I did almost watch it,
Yeah.
but
But also, I think I told you about this on Tuesday, so you had very little time. No, I told you about it
it was
yesterday.
yesterday.
It was yesterday. There's not a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Thursday today. Just
But all the
Wednesday
stuff
to
you gave
Thursday.
us was like 10 minutes worth of
that was the best
material.
Yeah.
And it sounded like you said that it was a lesson that you
Yeah, it is
teach.
something that you can cover in like an hour and 15 minutes
Yeah.
in a college classroom, which
And
I have,
also,
but
there's so little prep that some of the students might actually do it.
yeah.
I've
Yeah.
not that I have any opinions about my students and that are
Uh-huh.
anything but great,
part. Are you kidding?
but you definitely, the longer the piece that you assign, the fewer students will have read it, and you just realize that is a fact.
Yeah.
And so yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
but
so-
it's the same with me. He assigned me George Orwell's 1984.
And he didn't
I did
read it.
name this podcast. I did come up with a concept. I'd never read 1984, and I only read the first chapter and said, "Fuck this shit.
What?
Not reading this."
I loved it.
He did,
I
and
love 1984.
Yeah, me too.
I know. Okay, go ahead. Let's.
Do you ever read Catch 22?
I
tried.
Talking about
Did
dystopian,
I?
like
Did
war
I?
lit.
Did I?
Couldn't do it.
did I?
It's so freaking funny. It's really good.
Fahrenheit 451.
No, I actually
Not
haven't
as
read that,
funny.
and that's a flaw.
Not funny, but it was good. It was
Not
good.
funny.
Yeah. A lot less funny than you'd think by the title. Why?
Da-dum-tsh.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with the book.
Okay.
D-
So anyway,
Are you a fan? Is the first question I'm going to ask.
yes, I am.
Do
Although
you like how
it is,
in depth my questions are today?
it's big. It is cumbersome.
Okay.
You know, like some of the prose can be a little long. It's a long side.
How about the book? You
Yeah.
like? You not like?
You like book? You like book? You don't like book.
I like that, like, I mean, I do. One of the things that I do like about it is when you read these things and you realize they're about as relevant today as they were back when they were written, about the times that they were written in. And
Okay.
that's part of the whole, like, lesson that I'm doing in the class is, like, how each time it's interpreted by a different artist, this particular book and, like, this particular speech,
Yeah.
it changes a little bit.
Yeah. So what
And-
you let me just back up a second. What you gave us to read or consume was a speech, a famous part of the novel, how it was translated into a famous film, and then how it found its way into a Bruce Springsteen song, and then how that Bruce Springsteen song was covered by Rage Against the Machine. So we're seeing it go through time, and it really does. It follows the same pattern as folk music itself, because these songs just keep getting repeated over and over. And I also think about I know that there's that tradition in America, different parts of America, but I also think of the corridas in Mexico, and they just keep, somebody writes it, and then it gets remade every few years. And
Yeah.
anyway, it's a worldwide phenomenon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And here we are doing it.
Yeah, and I mean, that was part of my infatuation or, like, interest in the Appalachian folk songs, because I was playing them with people in Ithaca, New York, and
What do you play?
guitar, but very, very badly, especially because I don't practice really for shit. But, you know,
Nice.
I know some basic chords,
I
and
tried
which is
to
really
learn.
what you need to know for like some of those folk songs. Like if
I
you're gonna
can't do any
be,
of that.
if you're gonna be like, you know, if you're gonna play banjo or fiddle or mandolin, that's another story.
Those are
But like for
complicated.
guitar, I mean, if you're
Is
gonna
that
play,
a banjo tattoo on your
yes, it
forearm?
is.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
You're-
speaking of banjos,
You're living it.
then you're like, I definitely can't play banjo. Here's my tattoo.
Well, it's my husband plays banjo, so I get that.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, because I'm not getting that guy's name on me. No, but I'll get his banjo on
You
me.
can't. That's bad luck. right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, and then people get like their wedding rings tattooed on their fingers, and like, no, thank you. I'm very superstitious that way. Like, it's just not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I have not committed any ink yet.
Yeah. At all.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'm a
well,
blank canvas.
There's a gateway, you know, like the
I've
minute you
heard.
get one. You're
Yeah.
like,
You're waiting to
What's the
murder
next one?
somebody so you can get the tear, right?
Definitely. My wife has. I say she has number 28 from the wall. It's a little flower on her shoulder.
Oh, really?
I'm like, why? She's like, I was studying in Scotland. Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Classic tramp
Like,
stamp.
why? Like that.
It's on her
It's
shoulder.
so pointless.
Isn't
That's
that
not
where
tra-
the tramp stamp is?
really?
Where is it supposed to be?
For you, yes.
Right.
Don't you
Right
have
there,
one on your shoulder?
the small of your back.
I just thought a
Have
tramp
tramp
stamp was just like.
It says tramp stamp.
No,
That-
it's
okay,
lower
so
back.
shoulder
Lower back.
and lower back seems okay.
No, it's definitely just lower
It's
back.
lower back. It's the kind of thing
And
where
then you
like
show
you
it
could like
off.
lean over and
Yeah.
your low cut jeans kind of show
Yeah.
it when your shirt rides up a little bit, and hence
Yeah.
the tramp part because, you know,
It's
God
trampy.
forbid a woman have something
Yeah.
that's sexy on her.
Right.
Since we're on that subject, you know what I love about the Grapes of Wrath?
Woo! Just
It
Whipped
ends on
around.
some titty sucking.
What?
Oh my god!
That's it. The final scene
Really?
is some.
I
yep,
really missed out.
Yep, full bare nip,
No,
and oh yeah.
from 1940. Some ancient boobs.
Should we-
I don't know.
Ancient boobs.
Should we?
There's the title.
Should we
of your
break it
pod.
to him?
There it is. Ancient boobs.
Ancient boobs.
Should we break it to him? What
Yeah.
that's all about?
Please.
I mean, it's a spoiler, but
Well, it's like we've
Should I
never
do it?
spoiled anything
Yeah.
else that we've.
well, it famously ends on a character who's starving to death, and a
Oh.
woman who has. I don't know. Did she lose her child?
Yeah.
Wow.
Essentially breastfeeds him to save his life. It's so not quite as sexy as
It's not.
Does she say
You
you
think-
like your words or
you like milk? Like, okay.
we deteriorate rapidly here on the Moon Underwater.
Just start there. And there's
Yeah.
nowhere
You know,
to
I've been
go,
here
but-
before. I don't remember it,
I
but I've been
know.
here before.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was the best show in the history
Of
that
any
we've ever done.
podcast ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the line that Kelly came up with?
I don't remember.
Life's a nard.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Oh God.
Here we go.
So he's got some.
I would like to present to you.
You did it.
I'll narrate.
Hold
Steve is taking some kind of fabric out of his backpack.
Am I
One,
turning up?
two.
What is this salty, watery discharge?
Yeah, Sarah's weeping openly. And here it is. It is a, let's see what it is. It's a
Oh
t-shirt,
my gosh.
sky blue,
Life's
Life's a Nard,
a nard.
And it says
and
it
the
right on
moon
the front,
underwater on the back.
along with the QR
The
code.
QR
because
code in case you need,
just in case.
you need to find the website.
You need somebody following you down the street
Yeah.
trying to do the
Yeah.
QR code on your.
Well, because of the other, the dark side of the
a knife or a sword for this.
the
like
dark
knife.
side of the moon underwater, like will come up if you just Google. So
Yeah.
we need
Right.
to. You need the QR
You have
code.
to be specific.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
It looks
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you for being there. In the moment that I thought the funniest thing I'd ever heard came out of Kelly's mouth.
It is.
And you know what my wife said?
What?
Life's a nard, then you marry one.
Yeah.
Why can't I high five her right now?
Anna
So
said
good.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
I go-
she's amazing.
She saw it and she's like, life's a nard. And she goes, and then you marry one. Anyway.
With it, she didn't even miss
fell
a
in love
beat.
with her a bit.
Thank you, Steve.
all over
This
again.
is amazing.
Yeah, I
know.
can put that over
This
here
is
if you like.
amazing.
That's where I got a little cushion.
It
I'm
came
like
out of the bag.
kind of like squirreling them all behind
Yep.
me.
So we had to
Cheers.
do that.
That
So
was
cheers.
amazing.
Yes.
Cheers.
All right, so it's present time,
It is.
gentlemen.
All right.
Oh my
this is
God.
We have little gift bags.
We do.
coming full circle because I told you about this in the last
Oh
podcast.
God.
And very attractive little bag,
Oh yes.
like bachelorette party kind of thing.
Oh my
Red.
God.
Oh, yeah.
So now when you name drop,
I'm going to.
Yeah. We're
And
going to.
you can hear it.
dueling bells.
Oh my God.
So-
we each have our own bell.
Who are we going to name drop first? You need to use these. Thank
I
you
mean-
so much.
Thank you so much.
You're the best.
And the name that you were thanking here. Thank you so much, Sara. You gotta say the
Sara, Kain, Gutowski? Oh, there we go.
You did it!
first one.
Did it come through?
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, it definitely did.
That's amazing.
These are.
They're shiny.
It
I
is
cannot
beautiful.
wait to completely overuse this.
Yeah. I just
That or
I
I'm gonna
just
hit it
wanna-
really hard when I want them to
I
come
just
over
want
and
to
get us more
jam.
beer.
I want to do
Yeah.
a solo.
Yeah, because now everybody
Yeah.
can hear. We don't even need the button on there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody should
Please
hear.
feel free as well.
Oh,
You
okay.
can.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, you too, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This has nothing to do with the Grapes of Wrath.
What were we talking
But
about?
this is what happened last time.
So I
and
can do a
bells.
little. I can back up and do a little bit of context about John Steinbeck and where he is in the
Please
whole.
do.
Okay, I will.
And what he's doing now.
Sleeping.
Oh,
I didn't do my
Sleeping.
research, but he's in the modernist period.
I didn't do my
Okay.
research.
Well, no, I didn't know the exact dates, but he's around the same time as Orwell, like
Okay.
post-war.
Yeah.
Do you know when the Grapes of?
Grapes of Wrath came out in '39, only because
Yeah.
I just
Perfect.
looked it up.
Yeah,
I was
there you
like
go.
trying to remember.
And they're both modernist novelist writers, and they both are very concerned. They write novels that are concerned with society and equality and inequity, we'd call it today.
They were aligned with the commies.
They
you know?
were very,
Very much so, yeah.
socialist kind of minded, but they're also very different in that Steinbeck had an earthiness to him and realist. He's a great fiction writer, whereas I would say Orwell was a great essayist. Orwell's
Yeah.
essay novels are kind of allegories, and they're talking animals, that kind of thing. And
You haven't read that one either.
no, I haven't.
Oh my
Seems
God! How
silly.
have you not read Animal Farm?
Oh, it's really good.
It's
okay.
so
It's
amazing.
really good.
I refuse.
It's a cautionary tale.
I refuse.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
God, I don't know what we're gonna do with you, Kelly.
All animals are equal.
Great.
Just some are more equal
Some are
than
more
others.
equal than others.
I know. See, do I need to know anything else about the
I
book?
said that line in
Yeah.
a film class that I was taking my
Yeah.
senior year at the University of Iowa.
Nice.
Nice. Because we were talking about communist film, and the TA was like, anybody know anything about communism? And I was being a smartass, and I said, communism is a system where everybody's equal. It's just that some people are more equal than others. And she was like, not at all. I was like, actually, it's kind of true.
I
What do you
know.
mean?
Definitely dropped
Oh.
that class.
So she liked. She was a pro-communist.
Well, I mean, I think she was not looking for my political commentary at the time, which
She
I
probably
was being
wasn't
a
looking for
smartass.
like reductive
Yeah.
sarcasm.
Right.
She
Which
just
is
took one look
about
at your
all I had at
face.
that
I know,
point.
right?
I was 22. You know.
Granted,
Yeah.
that's all I have now. So, yeah.
So yeah. So Steinbeck.
Well,
Let's pick back up.
What I love most about Steinbeck or what I know the best is his short story called The Chrysanthemums. I don't know or it's just called Chrysanthemums. It's not the. And it was just in this anthology, and I think somebody taught it when I was in undergrad, and then so it went into my repertoire of stories to teach for creative writing classes.
How short of a story?
It's like
The
15
last short story we
pages.
read was like 800 pages.
Not
What-
a short
what's that?
story.
The
novella.
a supposedly fun thing I'll never do again.
That's an essay.
That was really
Essays.
long.
Yes, it was, but it's not a story.
Wow.
So,
It's sort of a story for me.
well, okay. Just let's get our terms straight here. Short
Hey,
stories,
look,
fiction.
if you want to talk about computer shit, I can do this to you. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, the Chrysanthemums is this really cool down-home story. It's just really great to teach because it's a classic story. You read it and you can see the moves that he's making and the structure of it, and it's easy to teach, or at least most students get it if you kind of just guide them to it. So anyway, I'm a big fan, and but it's all very incredibly realistic, I guess. He just doesn't go into much stylistic excesses or flourishes, and anyway. Whereas Orwell's essays are pretty straightforward, fiction less so. Anyway, I guess that's what I have to say about those two. So,
Right.
so Steinbeck is right on our radar. So here we are exploring it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like the comparison to the whole movie book.
We like that.
Yeah. Are we going to get into the actual speech? Should we?
We should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the speech. It was Tom Joad, which that last name drives me crazy.
Why?
I mean, it might as well be Tom Chode. Which
But life's a nard, so there you go.
is a nard. Life's a nard with a side of chode. So I couldn't drop that as I printed the speech and then didn't bring it. Yeah,
As one
pretty
does.
useless for me. But
What do
the
you think
speech,
of Tom Chungus? Would that be? It's good, better, same.
a lot better.
Honestly,
Oh no.
we should have.
More
We could do-
literary, less literary, same literary.
Yeah, we should.
Less literary, a lot more funny.
Nobody
Which is
has
what we're going
done Grapes of Wrath 2. So with Tom Chungus.
Actually, I don't even know if he's published it yet, but Lucas Nath has like some of the biggest literary balls on the planet. He wrote The Dollhouse 2.
All right.
Or A Dollhouse 2. Yeah. I was like,
I
how
guess
do you do that?
We're starting on Grapes of Wrath 2 right now in my head.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
So
Wrath, Life's a Nard.
with Tom
I almost
Chungus.
feel like could just call it the Grapes of Ass. Colon.
Is this it? This is the pod?
Maybe colon wasn't the thing.
We're done.
You like the colon? It just says written out colon.
In parentheses, though. You gotta,
It's a grammar joke. Come on, people. This is
Pretty funny.
podcast gold.
it is. It really is. We have nothing if not fun. We're definitely not serious.
No.
I think
But the speech was very serious.
It was very serious.
It's,
Right.
you
You see what I
can
did
find
there?
me in
Thank you.
wherever. If you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you can ever imagine.
Wait a minute. That's,
I mean, that's Star Wars.
that's Star
It's
Wars.
just-
Yeah.
You got it from
Christ.
somewhere, but it's the same thing. It's I'll be everywhere.
It isn't.
But that it's not one soul. It's that everybody has one collective soul. That's
Yeah.
the name of a band.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, and it is the
pretty good.
They
collectivist
were.
philosophy, and probably it.
But now I know where they got that
All right,
from.
you want me to
and
read
that's-
part of the speech? Because
Sure.
this is
Yeah.
a link to the
Do
pop
it.
culture
See,
references.
See, she's
I think.
allowed to look at her phone. We are not.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the rules.
No, that's our
Sorry.
rule.
I thought it was your rule. I don't remember. Okay.
No
Okay.
phones.
No
that's
phones?
the
All
that's
right.
the thing.
Okay, so also what's happened is that Tom got involved with union busters, kind of, and
Well, he
because
got-
the farm
He's
workers
getting intimidated by him.
Yeah, the farm workers, when they finally go out to California, the farm workers are trying to. I don't even know if it's like officially like unionized, but they're basically just trying to argue for their basic human rights. And there are these toughs that are being sent out by the farmers and, harassing and intimidating. And there's this preacher character who's kind of Jesus-like, and he gets killed. And Tom, the guard that kills him, also attacks Tom, and Tom defends himself.
Yeah.
But knows that like they're going to come after him. And so when he
Because he has a
refers,
scar on his face.
yeah, and he
Yeah.
refers to Casey,
Easy
he's
to
referring to the
find.
preacher.
Yeah.
And he said, well, maybe like Casey says, a fella ain't got a soul of his own, but only a piece of a big one. And then he's speaking to his mother because she's afraid for him, and he says he's going to go into hiding. And she says, then what, Tom? And he says, then it don't matter. Then I'll be all around in the dark. I'll be everywhere, wherever you look. Wherever there's a fight so hungry people can eat, I'll be there. Wherever there's a cop beating up a guy, I'll be there. If Casey knowed why, I'll be in the way guys yell when they're mad, and I'll be in the way kids laugh when they're hungry and they know supper's ready. And when our folks eat the stuff they raise and live in the houses they build, well, I'll be there, see? So it's this whole scene, and Henry Fonda is...
You just beat him out for that Oscar, by the way.
Oh, thank you, right?
Passion Reed.
That was
Yeah.
Gave me chills.
He won the Oscar, yeah, for that?
I don't think he did.
Okay. His mother in the film did.
Yeah.
Did you see what I
But
looked
he's still pretty. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, thank you.
Oscars.
And I looked it
Yeah.
up. I looked up that Ma Chode won the Oscar that year.
My favorite.
Machoed.
Yep.
Nice.
He's
I
like,
can't
I'm
take
sticking
anything
to it.
seriously. I couldn't help. I was like, Chode, really? He went with that. Didn't Steinbeck know? Like, all right.
Like decades later.
Yeah. Made famous probably by Beavis and Butthead.
I like it. I like the speech, but I also, it's pretty religious, and here's my critique of it.
Okay.
It has that, it'll go ahead and sacrifice yourself, because then you'll just go to heaven and everything will be great.
So being a martyr's cool.
It sounds like it's one of those justifications for just throwing your life away for something that may or may not be worth it.
Probably not worth it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be worth it to me. And so anyway, I do think it's a rousing kind of thing, and it's a touching scene and all that. But just my inner skeptic said, I would, if somebody was trying to talk me into it, like, it's one step away from putting on the, suicide vest or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, may I interject?
May.
Like, I would say
certainly
that, like, because I'm not religious myself, but I like his speech and this idea of one big soul, not the other, because to me, this is the kind of thing that makes more sense than anything. Because when we die, like, we biodegrade, right? And we become, like, part of the earth again, and we literally become part of all of those things that he discusses, maybe not in that exact moment, right?
Yeah,
but
I didn't get a
like,
religious vibe from it. So I guess I'm like with
we become part of, like,
I think it's like
everything.
a bigger idea.
And also, he's at the end of his rope. Like, he knows he's done for. Like, there's no way he's escaping. He doesn't have means to really escape from there. He's marked, so he's going to be, taken.
Yeah.
And if not beaten to death, then he's going to be arrested and put in jail, and they're
Right.
not seeing him again because he had a prior offense. Like, he's done.
Okay, so it's not that he's throwing anything away. It's already being taken from him.
Yeah.
And, as far as we're all part of something bigger, I do think that's the most likely explanation of the great mystery at the center of existence.
Yeah.
And in fact, it is a fact that we are. People like to say, "Oh, we're made of stardust." We are.
We are.
I mean, it all kind of blew up, and there's all these little atoms, and they get mixed up. And
so when people say, like, so you don't think it's like you find that comforting? I'm like, yeah. I mean, like, it's as comforting to me as the idea of, like, walking up to a pearly gate and having somebody go, "Oh,
but that would be
maybe
pretty
you're
sweet,
not
wouldn't
supposed
it?
to be in
That's-
here."
Yeah.
Like,
No, that part would suck.
right?
Yeah. If they're like, "Come on in," I'd be like, "Yes,"
But not you.
All right. Oh.
Remember,
Yeah.
did you see the movie This Is the End?
Oh, yeah.
James
Yeah.
Franco.
Oh, come on.
That's my favorite depiction of heaven because it's exactly the most silly and straightforward way. Is you get to go up there and anything that you wish for, you get. And that's it.
That's
and
it.
they get the Backstreet Boys to play for them, and they're like, "This is great."
That was
And all the rules of metaphysics were just like you can't pretend. Like, the one guy got pulled down onto the earth because he was gloating. He's like, "Oh, you can't be a sore winner." And it's just had all these little rules about how to work it.
Yeah.
And anyway, I thought that was a
good movie.
It is a good movie.
We were talking about how my husband and I were talking about how, like, it feels almost prophetic, or like that they made that movie knowing that they were just spilling the beans about all these different people. Like Jonah Hill's character in that movie is a complete asshole, and then he becomes like, what, a decade later? How long was that movie made?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, and then all of a sudden, you know, we're seeing all of his texts to his girlfriend and what an insecure
what?
asshole he is.
Wait,
You didn't
seriously?
see those?
I don't keep up on anything.
Well, I don't really either, but it kind of like just inserted itself into my news, you know, feed.
Ooh.
And
Because you liked that movie, probably, and they're like, "Look, see, he really is an asshole." Yeah.
But like a lot, I think what they did, part of their comedy was like they were just gonna like go in after each other's like flaws, and they went after
was
a major
James
way.
Franco a total creep?
Well, I think he is, isn't he?
Yes, that's what I mean. Was he a total creep in that movie? Is the question.
But actually, I kind of loved like in 30 Rock, he played a total creep. Didn't you see that?
I never watched 30 Rock.
Oh my God, how did you not watch 30 Rock?
I don't know.
Masterful.
It took me forever to watch Community, which I thought was
I love Community.
brilliant.
But
It's also
is Michael
brilliant.
Sarah, was he ever canceled or anything? Because he played
No.
the ultimate monster.
Yeah.
And that was the joke, is that
'Cause he's such
he's
a
so
nice
sweet
guy, kinda,
and,
yeah.
you know, kind of unassuming. And then him being this coke snorting monster who's like smacking women around and
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
sex in the bathroom. And
That part
was
I'm
great.
not sure about. Like,
I
I,
think
don't
that
think
was the
that. I think that
joke,
was
is that-
supposed to be irony. Yeah. Or
It was Danny McBride, of course, is fantastic in everything he does. Eastbound and Down.
oh my God,
He's like, hey.
he's so
What?
bad.
It's
I mean, like
so
good,
good.
but bad.
Tropic Thunder.
That's one of my favorite movies.
It's
Yeah.
so good, and
These
it's
are
so
great
it's
comedies.
on so many levels. It's like I don't know how they made that.
They can't make it
They
today.
could
They could
not
not.
make it, but it was amazing.
And it's not that long ago that it was made,
No,
and yet they could not make it today.
12 years ago, maybe.
It'll
10,
come
12
back.
years.
Comedy will come back.
It was that movie for me is one of those. Somebody was like, "No, you really have to see it." I was like,
Oh, it's
"Okay." I watched it. And I was like, should I be laughing?
You were
Like,
crying,
well, I
right?
did. I was. Yeah, yeah, I loved it.
So,
But that's
moving
not
things
funny.
along-
Those are way funnier than what we're talking about.
Well, so we read the speech, and what's your take on the translation into the movie? Do you feel like it's just pretty much faithful to
Yeah.
the book's intention?
Well, I mean,
and-
I think it's faithful to the book's intention. Like, I think it keeps the spirit of the thing as much as it can. I mean, there was a massive book. Like, you can't. That's not gonna, like, all the nuances of the book are not gonna translate. It's like, have you read No Country for Old Men?
Definitely saw it.
Definitely saw it.
I saw it.
No, I mean, like, that movie is
No.
a almost perfect movie, and
Yeah.
then you have the book, which I feel like the more I reread it, I teach that too, and the more I read it, like, the more things pop out to me. But that book, each of the chapters begin with a monologue from the sheriff. That doesn't translate
Josh
well.
Brolin, for those of you playing at home. Oh, you meant the book.
The book.
Doesn't matter.
No, in the movie, it's Tommy Lee Jones, the
Oh.
sheriff.
Okay.
Llewellyn, the guy on the run, is
Yeah.
Josh Brolin's character.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
But, like, yeah,
Haven't
so,
seen that in
like,
forever.
old wizened, you know, white
Yeah.
guy, like, talking at length doesn't really equal cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah.
But that's his
Monologues
character.
don't work that
Yeah.
well in movies. Yeah.
But they get some of his monologues into the dialogue, but like that was, I thought, a perfect translation from book to
Okay.
film, because they realized, like, so that part's not going to work. Like, you're not going to monologue all over the film. So instead, you just, you know, work the little bits of dialogue that are really important in there. And he has, like, the monologue at the end is like an abbreviated version of one of his last monologues.
Okay.
So that's okay. But, like, that's a really good book to film. And I thought kind of the same thing with Steinbeck, although, I mean, it's also I'm not to, like, slam all the old movies, but, like, you know, there are still some of the stylized aspects of, like,
Yeah.
1930s 40s film that, like,
Even the scene that we watched for this, he and his mother are just like us right now, not
yeah.
actually facing each other. They're both facing
Yeah.
the camera, kind of,
Yeah.
They're
and
like
like,
this.
oh. And
So tell me what's going to happen
Yeah.
if you die.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
then
like-
you start talking. Well,
it
I'll
was-
be everywhere.
It was
You know?
it was the convention of the time, and if you see it on a stage, it seems right, but it seems completely wrong to us now in movies, because at some point filmmakers realize, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Actually, you could just get more cameras and yeah.
I took a film class at the University of Iowa. We
Wow.
had these little digital camcorders, and we edited on these
cool.
old Macs. And one of the rules we were not supposed to break was the 180-degree rule, where you would never show, like, me talking to you guys from behind me and then switch 180 degrees. That was considered horrible form because it was way too confusing. And I'm watching things
Yeah.
now, and I'm like, no, it makes perfect sense to do that. You're giving the perspective, and it's one of those, like,
Yeah.
hello, why was that always a rule for so long? Well, it would have been hard to edit. It would have been, there's a number of reasons you wouldn't do it, probably in 1940, which is when I think the film was made, that just doesn't really check out. Shortly, I'm going to run inside and get you a beer.
We could pause.
and
We've
can we
done that
pause?
before, especially since we have a guest.
Yeah.
We can pause.
Let's
Yeah, we
pause.
have
Let's
two full.
pause.
Let's pause, and then
Pause
we'll be
it.
right back.
Yes. What are you drinking?
Is that a PBR or I don't know. Whatever you're drinking.
PBR. I just get another picture
We
of
thought
that.
you were like IPA.
IPA.
Well, I did it that one time because I was like, that looked really good.
It did
But
look
now she was.
Have you had Easy Eddie before?
Easy Eddie's a hazy IPA.
No,
It's
I'm
from
not. I'm not crazy about the hazies. This is. Oh yeah. All right, then let's get that.
I can't do one of those.
What?
The
Then-
hazy. And I'm going to get a picture of that.
Get
All
a
right.
picture of the. I thought he wanted the hazy.
No, he's trying to make you happy, Sarah.
I'm
I know.
happy. I'm sitting
Yeah.
outside.
Isn't this nice?
This is so nice.
How is it going with your family and everything?
Wait,
Uh,
I need a picture. I mean,
that you
might
do.
as well bring that back, right? Life's a nard.
Life's a nard. Got to go back
Ain't
to
it?
the picture.
Ain't it the truth?
Yeah. This is so freaking cool.
So you're, yeah. I hope you wear that at the wedding. Has the wedding happened yet?
No, it's happening Saturday.
Yeah. Where are they doing it?
Williamsburg. So it's like a kind of
mean-
barn.
you
Iowa,
mean
Williamsburg,
Brooklyn. There's a Brooklyn, Iowa.
Iowa. I know. Oh, there's a Brooklyn, Iowa.
Yeah, I rode
There's a
my-
Williamsburg in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Right.
I rode my bike with a bunch of people, and they were listening to like Spotify or something. And the Beastie Boys' "No Sleep Till Brooklyn"
Oh.
came right as we were coming in, and we were like, "Wait a minute, are they like listening? Are they following?"
Tracking.
It is. It's if you are in. They do have GPS on where you
That's
are,
crazy.
and then the algorithm that they have that songs that are geographically connected to a place will come up.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And a little Big Brother
A little
to
bit.
go back with
A little
Orwell.
bit, but it's more Brave New World, I think, than 1984, and I do think that Brave New World kind of was better predictor of that we will gladly go to our doom because they're just offering us endless comfort, and I think that's what's going on more than the jackbooted
Yeah.
thugs
We should have
like
discussed
breaking
that.
in. And
I would have had to crash read that piece though, so I've only read like excerpts of Brave New World.
I've read that one. I didn't.
Now I'm gonna have to do my homework.
I don't know why. I just resist some of the more famous books. I guess the Talking Animals one just seemed childish, and I know that it's also short. It's probably easy to read, but
I mean, because they teach it in high school, but I don't think everybody's ready to read it in high school.
yeah.
It's kind of like, I mean, half the shit that I read in AP Lit, I was not of maturity, like, ready to read.
I'm going to bring it out. They just changed it.
Oh, okay.
The students, I guess the Iowa curriculum has them reading The Scarlet Letter in high school, and the students are just not
I read it in
getting
high
it.
school.
Yeah.
Well, also, because Hawthorne's awful. I'm
Well, I didn't like it
sorry.
at all.
His prose is so bad.
It's hard to get through.
It's.
I took in college preparatory composition. CPC.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying AP Lit Like, I read so many books that, looking back, like, they're amazing books, and I can't believe how many I read in a year. Because I always thought, like, that was supposed to be equal to, like, a semester of college. And, like, there's no way physically you could read that many books in a semester of college. But because we read Steinbeck, or no, wait a minute, that was junior year. We read Grapes of Wrath that year. But we read Catch-22, we read Handmaid's Tale, we read Orwell, we read The Invisible Man, we read...
Oh, I read that.
Is this all in one class?
Yeah.
It's a lot of
I read
pages.
Invisible
Yeah,
Man.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It was just so many pages. It's like there's no way that you could actually do that in a semester.
In Iowa, I took literature of the African peoples,
Oh, yeah?
and we read Invisible Man.
Yeah?
It was good.
And there's
Even though
no
that's
Invisible Man in
African
it.
American people?
Why, yeah. And then it was taught by a white lady,
I know.
which I was like,
I mean, I was taught by my African American
Race
lit
is
was
a
taught by
construct,
a.
it's true.
It is. But it was like, they didn't have any professors of African American descent, so we were taught by a Hispanic lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
Oh my God!
I like that that's still running. The video's still running.
Fuck, man.
These are the deep cuts. That's like
That's the laser disc
It
version.
is. Yes. Oh, God. Oh, wow.
Woo!
Oh, my
Good
God.
stuff.
Good times.
Good times. I do love it.
Should we start up again?
We
or-
should start up again, probably. Or we should
Or
we
do you wanna
wait
wait
so
for
we
the
don't get
picture?
interrupted?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate it when those fuckers.
I can go
Talk
back
to
in
us.
there and, yeah, the way they talk to us.
The
Who do you think we
we
are?
went to so we did one on a Dennis Johnson story. And,
Which one?
The story was it was work
Work,
from
yeah.
Jesus' son.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
We're
so
good.
much.
Perfect, thanks.
Let's pour. Let me get you.
Oh, thank you.
Rear ski. And we recorded in the Vine
Which is in the story.
in Iowa City.
That's where
where it takes
Nice.
place.
I didn't even realize that
It's
because
a
it's been
real
years
bar.
since I've read
was
Jesus'
good.
Son.
Yeah, he went to the Iowa workshop, and he was actually a heroin addict and was like sleeping in his car and then
Right.
going to workshops.
As one is when they're at,
Yeah.
One of the most
writers' workshop,
prestigious
but, yeah.
workshops in the country.
And the Vine, yeah. But we're recording there, and some people sent over some shots,
Aw.
But-
and
It
then
was a bar manager.
somebody else. Well, first, just those people over there sent over those
Okay,
shots.
yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
They were like this apple cider thing.
It was
And then
apple pie moonshine.
And then some guy
Oh.
showed up who we didn't know who the fuck he was. And he was like, and there were these big syringes full of like,
It was like a Jello shot.
it was a Jello shot, but we didn't really know that. And we're in the middle of recording, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't want that. And then I'm like, oh, that's the
He was
fucking
the
bar
manager, yeah.
And like he was trying to give
And he
us
was
a
super
free
cool
shot.
about letting us go
Oh,
there,
wow.
and he was super into it.
Shame
and
on you.
Kelly was a dick. I know.
That's
And
a
it
new
was on-
T-shirt.
Kelly was a dick.
And it was
like the
on
second version.
It was on the both the podcast and
the video.
the video, and then
Yeah.
the rest of the thing, I'm like just zoning out because I keep remembering
That you turned
like, I'm
down.
like forgetting.
It's like faux pas. Well, after you're just caught in the loop.
You just have to drink alcohol every time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You never
All right.
turn it down.
I know.
Never, ever,
Apparently not.
ever.
That's
All right,
a good
are
rule.
we're coming back?
Hey, do you remember what we were
No.
Not a clue.
talking about? We were talking about something.
Talking to stoners about what were we just talking about?
Maybe we should go in.
What's happening here? What
I wanna
is
catch.
happening
I
here?
want to catch. Look,
Oh.
What the hell happened there?
he'll do. Steve knows how to do it.
Oh!
That's his software engineering. Is there's also just
You
engineering.
have to have
Yeah, I
a
don't-
spatial intelligence that I lack, obviously.
Yeah, I'm similar to you.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
Cheers. We're back
let's
on.
see. I
Are
hope
we?
so.
Maybe.
Let's see how it goes. And
There's the
we're
jump cut.
back, as
Yeah.
far as I know. We were talking about the Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah.
I think.
And then
Something
what-
about that. So Steve, what do you think?
Oh, we
of
talked about it from book to movie.
book to movie. Yeah, we're on the movie now.
Can we go movie to
Yeah,
to
maybe
song?
let's go to one of the songs. The
Yeah.
first song.
Okay.
The
Springsteen
boss.
song.
The boss.
Yeah,
Did you listen to the song?
I did.
What'd you think?
I'm not a big Springsteen guy.
I'm not a Springsteen guy at all.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You're a
I liked
Springsteen
it.
guy?
I guess I don't,
Actually, I like that song.
I'm not
Yeah.
a Springsteen guy, but you like the
Come
boss.
on.
You
I
like the
mean,
boss.
okay. What's your favorite song by the Boss? Because there's one right answer.
I'm on fire.
Maybe Down by the River.
Don't know it.
'Kay.
Got to be terrible.
I'm on fire.
Also wrong.
That's a good one. What?
Yeah.
Although also
Born to
super
Run.
predatory and
Born to
creepy.
Run's all right.
Yeah.
What I like best. Okay, the first time I heard of him was on MTV, and it was Born in the USA. I didn't
Which
get.
is a song about being how shitty it is to be born in the
no,
USA.
but I didn't
But
get
it's
that.
also like it's one of those songs that you're just like people start singing it
Yeah,
in bars,
not
and it's
great.
like no.
Yeah, and I just thought it was about like rah rah America, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, who is this guy? And then I found out, oh, he's this like folk singer guy.
Yeah,
People like
it's
him.
the
and-
opposite of that, and
Yeah.
both would be horrible. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say.
Yeah.
Like neither one of those answers
Yeah.
is right. That's why that song sucks.
So one of my favorite people, musicians, whatever, and also I have a connection just from where I grew up is David Lowery. Thank
Nice.
you. You were on it.
Comes right through. I
You were
cannot
just
wait
setting
to
it
hear
up.
that.
I'm like my
Teeing it up,
so
and you
good.
hit it out.
Love that.
David Lowery of Cracker,
Oh,
but
Nice.
even better, Camper Van Beethoven.
whoa.
So they're from Redlands, California. And that's where I went to high school and junior high and stuff. And
Wow.
but Cracker's most famous song or their first hit was, I forget that it has a weird title, but it's What the World Needs Now.
I saw
And-
them play at HF Festival.
Oh yeah, did you like them?
Yeah.
This
They're
was-
I
pretty
mean,
great.
I wasn't
They were
like
90s?
following them,
Yeah.
but they were.
Yeah.
But What the World
band.
Needs Now is another folk singer. Like I need a hole in my head. it's
yes,
it's
I'm
pretty
coming.
great.
Yeah.
It takes the piss and but what? Yeah, and then the chorus kind of develops. What the world needs now is a new Frank Sinatra, so I can get you in bed.
Sounds about right.
So anyway, but we're on the boss. We're in
So
Bruce
for
Springsteen.
me,
So you didn't like it.
He came up very working class, right? He had connected with, I think, people in a different way. And in the 90s, after you've done that for 30 years, that doesn't still resonate the same way. That's my thought.
Right. Okay.
And so that by 1995, it's one of those, write what you know. Do you still know what it's like to be poor, Bruce?
I know.
And,
No.
and I go, but that's also...
But the song is separate from his biography.
yes.
And with the name The Ghost of Tom Joad, like the thing that I did like is that he's at least observing what's going on around
Tom
him.
Chode?
No, Springsteen.
Oh,
Catch up.
okay. No, the ghost of Tom Chode. Yes.
Ghost of Tom Chode.
I can't help it.
Like at least Springsteen was willing to like open his eyes and look at like what
is a
happened in the
chode?
80s.
Is it a thing? It's a funny sounding word.
It's a dick that is wider than it is.
That's a chode?
Yeah.
Wow. The
At
ghost
least-
of a chode.
At least Sean Coleman told me that when I was
All right.
in junior high.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thick and short.
Yeah.
How do you have a ghost of that?
T-shirt.
What is a chode?
Yeah.
No, thick and short.
I
Thick and short. Yeah.
I was gonna go with like a Jeopardy. Have the answer thick and short.
Yeah.
And the question on the back.
What is that show?
All right. Stay tuned for the merch shop.
Yeah. It's coming. It's coming, people.
I need
Yeah.
to be your
Podcast
marketing person. I'm
will
pretty sure
eventually-
everybody
We do-
would buy
we
these
need-
terrible T-shirts.
God, Life's an artist. Genius. Are you kidding? I mean, you know how long
Here's
I worked
to
on
you,
that?
Kelly.
I spent like an hour designing that online.
It's amazing.
It really is. I'm looking at it right now. I'm admiring.
I don't think it's busy enough.
It
I
needs-
think we need some new elements.
Do you not
It needs
have a
darker on the
square
bottom.
shop or something set up so that people, now that we're talking about the T-shirts, our fans,
because
i.e.
the shirts
your
were
fans,
really
can
expensive
buy
to
your
get
shirt.
printed.
Did you?
And get them here by this day, which was the really it was like an extra $30 to get them here by today.
do that.
Oh,
So-
but I did.
Oh, but you.
Oh, but I did. You brought these, so that's how that's working.
Woohoo!
Okay.
Worth every cent of your money.
All right, so
Yeah.
Springsteen sucks.
I'm just not. I mean,
No.
but I like Springsteen. I'm Born to Run. There's a few others. Glory Days is fantastic.
Eh,
Oh yeah.
Oh, hey, I have a
okay.
writer who writes a lot about music.
Springsteen.
Whatever. No, he just
Oh.
writes about music. Name is Joe Bonomo, and he.
I like these
Well,
Joe.
I got ready,
But
Yeah.
and anyway, he's an author. He lives in Illinois, NIU, and his
Let's see what
first
his
book
use of
was
the
a
day.
biography of a band called the Flesh Tones.
aren't you
And
glad I got these
that's a
things?
band that not that many
Like
people
it.
have heard of. And so I asked him on my previous podcast, what was it called again?
I don't know.
Personal rejection letter. And
Really?
yeah, it was a writing podcast. And we asked him why he, with my friend Dan Libman, asked him why
Nice.
why he picked a band that most people haven't heard of. And he said something about how he had just read Bruce Springsteen's memoir.
Yeah.
And he said it was good. It was interesting. And he liked the beginning of it when he was like hitchhiking to get to a gig and had his guitar on his back and he's exploring America. He goes, but like halfway through, there's like a huge section that's about how hard it is to put a Super Bowl halftime show on.
Yeah.
And he goes, and I was like, I just kind of...
That's my problem.
I wanted to, and the Flesh Tones never got there. They're just some band that they're still touring. They're like in their 70s now, still like sleeping two to a bed in motels and traveling around the world. And that's rock and roll. Super Bowl halftime shows, I just don't think will ever really be rock and roll. It
You
just
can't get the
isn't,
lip sync just right, so it comes off right on camera. And I guess
I'm sure it's a big challenge.
I'm sure.
And I'm sure it takes a lot of expertise.
Well,
but
actually, did you see? I mean, Prince's halftime show.
yeah, that was pretty badass.
Oh my god!
Prince?
rain and the
Playing
rain.
in the rain, and then he plays like everybody else's songs.
And then he overdosed in the Quad Cities.
Yeah, he did. He almost died here. Did you know that? Yeah. Then he went home.
And then he went home to die
And then
somewhere
he-
else.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our
So-
doctors at Trinity
Nice.
saved him,
True.
put him back on his private jet, sent him home.
Yeah. Said,
What a-
go die somewhere else.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
sad.
I don't think they said that.
Anyway, that was a
I
kick-ass
think they
halftime
did.
show.
It was.
So, as far as the lyrics of the song, and as it relates to the book, the scene, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good representation. It was one of those. I was like, okay, I can't get over the way that the song was sung. I was like, okay, it's kind of. Man, what a downer!
Well, all right, so it's not like your aesthetic, perhaps, but
Okay.
what I like and what I do with it, because also I try to. I mean, I'm teaching a bunch of like people are like what Gen Z and Gen Alpha. I don't know, like
Weirdos.
who are my students
Yeah.
right now?
Huh.
But like they're really young. This is not their music, and I'm trying to tell them like. We are not talking about aesthetics right now, like whether or not that this appeals to you or not. We're talking about simply the fact that somebody took inspiration
Yeah.
from an earlier work and saw relevance in it in their own particular time. So Springsteen is writing that song. Actually, we don't have him here. I can't ask him when he actually wrote the lyrics to the song, but he publishes it in 1995, which tells me that he lived through the 80s and he saw the excesses of the 80s and he sees the effects of the 80s, which is what the 90s were all about, like seeing that
Yeah.
downturn economically and seeing like where all the cocaine and, stock market shit had gotten us. And so then that song comes out, and then like I also love this idea of like reaching when I show them, like I play them Springsteen song and then I play them the Rage Against the Machine song,
we'll
and
get
you're
to
like,
that.
these are so stylistically different, and yet
Yeah.
like he didn't cover like Zach De La Rocha didn't sing those lyrics because
That's the guy from Rage.
yeah. He didn't sing those lyrics because he was, so enamored of Springsteen's musicianship, or like I can't imagine
I don't
for a
think-
minute
I-
that guy was sitting there listening to
No.
Springsteen's latest album. But
Agreed.
like, he heard this song and he loved the politics of it, and so they start playing.
He Googled commie songs
Right.
and found it. He goes, all right, let's take these lyrics.
Let's do this.
Yep.
There's
Yeah.
the new T-shirt.
There it is.
Yeah.
Tommy song.
Commie songs.
So,
It's got to be a hashtag, though.
so
Wait, I do have an observation about the lyrics, though. So it went from
it was
book
more modern.
It went from book to movie without changing much, just a little, I don't know, smoothing it over for the actor to just play around with it a little. But then when it got to the song, the speech in the book and the movie was kind of dark and angry, but also had some positive, like when kids cry, yell because they're hungry and dinner is ready.
Yeah.
And
they laugh.
then there's laughter,
in there.
and then there's also something about when we get what we want, when we get to live in the house that we built and eat the food that we. So there
Yeah.
was all that in it in the Springsteen song and in the cover. It took away all of the positive
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
and
yeah.
just turned it into negative.
But I think it's back to the book, right? From what I read, Googled, the book is more negative. We're all
Yeah.
doomed, right? The film was a little more positive, but the Springsteen song was definitely sort of a doom and gloom kind of.
Well,
no
and
titties either.
no titties.
None whatsoever.
Not even one.
T-shirt number 65.
We're making all of these. Yeah.
But I mean, like, also, I think that's another aspect that I think is really cool. So Steinbeck, I think, has a reputation of maybe being like a little more positive, simply because The Grapes of Wrath and then a movie having that kind of sunshiny ending. But then you have and then Springsteen having it, there's still a kind of like, there's a hope there in his singing, and maybe it has something to do with like the softness of his voice, and he's playing acoustic, which I guess it was only his second acoustic album.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that has a softer edge to it. It has much more of a like roots kind of edge to it, and then you have Rage that is like in their title, but in De La Rocha's like song, like the way he sings it / screams it, like we get the anger back. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, it's pretty much
I don't
the
think
same.
he's reciting it rather than singing it.
I like the line about. Well, I like how they brought it to a freeway underpass.
Yeah.
And there was something about that when they brought the cardboard, sleeping in a cardboard box in. That was a pretty great little bit of lyric.
The Springsteen.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
No, I like that updating of it a lot. Yeah. Have you ever heard that? Maybe I said this in the last time we podcasted. I don't know. But that
We talked Rage last time.
did
I
we?
feel like.
And I
Oh, yeah,
must
we
have
did. We
said it
mentioned
that. Yeah.
about what the machine they're raging against.
Mm.
There's that meme that said, "I don't know what machine they're talking about, but I bet you it's a printer."
That checks
Oh
out.
yes.
I think maybe
And
that came
maybe
up.
that foreshadowed
Yeah.
my own printer dying in the past 2 weeks.
And me forgetting my stuff at my printer and raging against it,
Yeah.
but not me.
No.
No.
My printer has been great.
I'm
been
not-
wonderful to me
I'm
for
not
a
a
long
rage
time.
guy.
Rage
and
against a machine you don't like.
I mean, I like to rage.
Yeah.
But I don't like
You're just
rage.
you're just angry.
Angry.
You don't need
Yeah.
a band to.
No, I don't need them to be ragey for me.
Yeah. In fact, they can compete with your rage.
But they're
Right.
not really
Blunt
ragey
it.
anymore.
But I liked their song. I like their cover
more than
way
the
better.
Springsteen. Yeah.
But how many years later is it? Normally for me a cover is
It's
like
not very. It's like 3 years later.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm
But pause. Please hold.
Oh,
This
she's
is in my
cheating
notes.
again.
It's in my notes.
Oh, okay. All right.
I got notes here, people.
Junip, which is a Swedish fuck them band, 2010 covered it.
Again.
I don't think it needed to be done, but they did it.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
And they did it much more folky. I like the Rage version. Oh, and it's
Yeah.
1997 that Rage did the
Okay,
Ghost of
so
Tom
2
Joad.
years later.
It's only 2 years later.
And for me, it's the better version of the
I
song.
think so too. And also, I think that maybe, and I don't, again, I can't ask them because they're not our guest today, But I would ask them, like, did you cover that song because you felt like Springsteen's version wasn't going to reach the right people? Because if we really think about it, Springsteen's, like,
Who
audience...
can pay the $300 a ticket in 1995 to go see, right?
Or
Like,
now. They're all boomers, man.
Oh, right.
They're, like, none of them are going to be, like, the people who need this message, who need it to fire them up and get them...
They're-
like
yeah.
unionizing, like those are the young people.
Yeah.
Like, and Rage at that time, like they were the right people for that particular message.
Yeah.
So actually, one of like the travesties of this, I think, is that when I went to go like find the Springsteen clip, which is just like a YouTube,
It's
they
not
have like a
great.
static
Yeah.
picture and it's just the song. It's so much better though than one of his performances, because his performance is like him with the E Street Band, and then they invite Tom Morello on stage, and I'm like, don't get that guy up with you, motherfuckers! Like, you are so old, and
They're-
you've got this
yeah.
like, and I mean,
Was Max
It's just-
Weinberg there?
I don't
Wasn't he in the
know.
E Street Band?
ugh,
Yeah.
E Street Band.
Yeah.
Old people suck.
I'm just
They're the
not.
worst.
I'm sorry.
You
That's
know?
who I was picking a fight with on Facebook. Boomers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you guys know who Scott Galloway is? I
No.
like Scott.
Not a clue.
Who's
Scott.
Scott
He's just a podcaster guy, and he's on.
What does he podcast about?
He has a bunch of different. He's a business guy.
Is
He.
this the asshole that predicted Arsenal was going to win the league and then they fucking
Yeah,
didn't?
he did.
Yeah, thanks.
So
Thanks a
you
lot,
hate him.
Scott Galloway.
So he. So
Fuck you, Scott Galloway.
Yeah.
he's a business professor at NYU, and he's a professor
Yeah, never heard
of
of it.
branding. And so he makes his own brand, and so his company is himself in a way. Anyway, he's interesting because he just gets on these roles and he just keeps repeating it over and over. But his latest one is America is engaging in a war on the young. And he just talks and talks and talks, and he has a lot of data. Yes, please.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna-
He has a lot of data about how everything about the tax code, about how things work, is essentially just funneling money from the young to the old. And the old have all the money.
It's sort
And
of how
whoa,
it's worked
whoa.
for a while.
Jesus
I know,
Christ,
alcohol
people.
abuse there, and you spilled
know.
on yourself.
I've been in a frat before. We're fine.
I
Yeah.
was in a fraternity. I lived in
Oh,
one
that's
for
right.
3 years.
I
Yeah.
love how my statement about how the young are getting screwed, by the tax code, etc., is just overshadowed by you guys spilling
beer.
You
Yeah.
know?
But she at least tilted her glass.
Thanks, Gen X.
You're just like, I'd like all the foam you can give me, please.
Ooh, foam.
You were. That's why you were in a. I know, because you know how to pour beer.
It's also I've tended bar, so.
I've tended bar. Jesus
haven't.
Christ. People, what are
Nobody
you trying to-
trusted me to do
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
All right.
All
I
right,
feel like
so-
I'm being slandered.
No.
No,
And,
yeah.
but also
no, I'm
like
just bitter.
that's not wrong. But also part of it is like, okay, so I think what is possible is that the ultimate joke is going to be on the boomers because they have been hoarding their wealth and they're going to die.
Well, yeah.
And then all the people that they've been slandering are going to either inherit that wealth or it's going to be fed back into a system that then benefits all those people that they, tried to keep it from.
That's how it's worked for a while. Yeah.
And,
I would
like,
agree with that.
There are all these people like they're hoarding their millions, like they can't possibly spend it all. And I'm not talking about the billionaires because like they can't spend it all, definitely. But it's like even these
I would try.
like people who are wintering, the snowbirds, like they're just like
No? What?
Nothing.
Oh. Kelly just pointed at something.
I know.
was like, huh?
What? He's like snowbird right there.
Yeah, they appear before me sometimes. And
Wow.
No. Okay, never mind.
Oh.
I was trying to signal that I was hoping that Sarah would speak a little closer to the mic.
I'm
because-
sorry.
That's all right.
Here I am.
I don't want you to be,
Unheard.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I care about women in particular.
And we're
Thank you.
real loud.
Not that guy, but
So, speaking of poetry,
Oh, I was going to.
coming.
I have one more. I was going
All
to
right,
talk about
now go.
Woody Guthrie.
go. Okay,
Oh.
Woody Guthrie. I love Woody Guthrie.
so do you like that Wilco album?
Was that English? I don't.
Wilco?
By.
God damn it. Could I talk to somebody who is
I
my
just-
age and knows about music?
I know
Wilco?
about Wilco.
Wait.
Thank you.
I
love
know
Wilco.
something about Woody Guthrie.
No, but Wilco?
I don't know anything about
Wilco's country.
But and they covered like a whole bunch of like basically I think they had from his trust like a bunch of Woody Guthrie lyrics and they made music to it. And one of them is called
Big fan, huh? I like that you're singing it in your
Wandering
head.
Star. No, that's Mazzy Star. No, that's Portishead.
Definitely not Mazzy
Portishead. Wandering Stars. Portishead.
Okay.
Can rely on
I
can
know.
rely on me, honey.
Anytime we get Kelly singing, it's a good show.
Anytime you want.
Yeah,
But they have a Steinbeck song.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go to my phone.
You're gonna. Well, so.
Woody Guthrie does.
Woody Guthrie,
yeah.
I will say, I took a class at the University of Iowa. Yeah. That was called The History of Pop Music. And I was so excited to take it. It was like, man, this is going to be so great. And we started just before vaudeville. And needless to say, it was not at all what anybody in that classroom had expected. And it was really fucking hard.
Nice.
Yeah. And so
I appreciate this professor.
it was
Like you guys, easy A. I'm going to get to listen to the radio.
I
we
know.
ended at the Ramones, which is kind of awesome.
That is awesome.
But that was like
It was pop
the
music.
last.
That's the
ending
end
at
of
the
pop
Ramones.
music.
Yeah, and like why it was how it was different than, well, how it was the same as what had been before it. Like that it was the Rolling Stones with the leather on, and that they had sort of abandoned that, but that's what the Ramones were, and they were 2 to 3 minute songs, and that because that's what played on the radio, and so anyway.
I'm sorry, he
I
was
know.
considering everything before the 80s pop.
No, but there was popular music that led up to that, starting with vaudeville, basically.
Right.
And it was horrible. It was a fucking horrible class, but Woody Guthrie was covered.
Okay.
And so This Land Is Your Land, well, that is a communist song. And so, Woody Guthrie was effectively canceled in the 1930s for this very reason. It's still a good song.
It was California Stars, which was
Yeah.
the and
Oh,
so
yeah.
like and he talks about like I'd like to
California
stars.
Yeah,
to
I know.
rest,
Yep.
right?
Wow.
And like that song is like he talks about like it's all Steinbeck imagery, but it's Guthrie's lyrics,
Okay.
and Jeff Tweedy like wrote I think the music to it.
I think
and-
Guthrie
and-
was a good writer, right? So, like, as we talk about writing here, even though I don't do any of it unless it's lines of code, that there's a lot of really good Woody Guthrie songs. I would say that,
yeah.
especially the way that they're written. Better than stupid Bruce Springsteen. I don't know.
No, I
don't
had
mean
a
that, but-
CD of like Woody Guthrie's kind of collection, and I was listening to it all the time, and they're great, one after another. They're funny. They tell stories.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of songs I like.
So how do you feel about Bob Dylan?
I love
Oh
Bob Dylan.
man, Bob Dylan's a great writer. Have you ever seen him live?
No.
Not as
Voice, not exactly.
He's never
what
had a
you hear.
great voice.
Yeah.
Went to
There's a veal.
Stuart Diebeck, the
What about you?
great fiction writer.
Wait,
Oh, okay.
Bob Dylan?
Except for Time Out of Mind.
she doesn't
Time
like
Out of
Bob.
Mind is a
right.
beautiful album, and the one that he did with Cash,
Johnny Cash.
North Country.
I do like Johnny Cash a lot.
Yeah.
North Country, is that the album?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Is it Rolling Bob? That's the beginning of that song.
You already know more than
I
me.
definitely don't know the
You are
individual
clearly
records
the
of-
leading expert in this table.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Which is to say, not.
Yeah. No, you know like individual records.
But
and,
he,
like,
I don't know any
like
of
that.
songs.
So that I admire his songwriting. Do I think that he deserved a Nobel Prize in literature?
Whoa.
Not sure.
Nobel Prize.
Yeah, he got one
in literature.
in literature.
So you guys are next in line, basically.
We
That's-
covered this. We covered this in Personal Rejection Letter.
Oh,
Okay, because he got the. We both agreed that harmonica players should get more Nobel Prizes for literature.
checks out. I like it.
I love that.
there's a bug in my beer. Oh,
That's another T-shirt.
that is. Harmonica players deserve
Nobel
more
Peace
Nobel
Prize.
Prizes.
Literature prizes.
But Stu Diebeck is a great short story writer, a good, great fiction writer, great teacher too. And he would talk about how Bob Dylan didn't have a good voice, but the word he used was phrasing. He had really unusual and surprising phrasing.
Oh, like Joni Mitchell. That
And-
bitch is crazy.
Joni Mitchell, yeah.
Have you ever listened to a Joni Mitchell song?
Maybe.
It takes a certain amount of. You probably need like a couple shots before listening to it. It's like all over the
Should I-
place.
Let's do some
I know.
shots. Listen to
Let's
Joni
Let's
Mitchell.
take some shots.
We
and
need to go
listen
back to
Joni
the Vine
Mitchell.
for that.
Yeah.
We would have gotten shots by now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Where's the Jello shots?
Yeah. That
So-
you didn't do.
Did we cover
Yeah, we covered.
the thing you wanted to?
Yeah.
You sure?
That's what I have now for my notes, so
Okay.
we can go on to.
Well,
We
last
talked
time.
about it last time,
Wait,
we
so-
think.
Before we finish with like a serious thought, can I also just tell you that in your last pod, you talked about the last pod that has released. At
That's
least.
dropped. Wait,
You
which
talk
one
about
was
a
it?
friend who got a ticket skating down a hill. I think.
Yeah, skating down Thalia,
Yeah. Okay.
Laguna Beach.
So I had a friend in Harrisonburg when I was in college. It's at JMU.
Oh.
And she was like rollerblading while her friend, who was a much more like adept, I suppose, athlete, was running, right? So she was like rollerblading, he was running, but then they got to this hill.
I wanted to ding running for some reason. Like,
Well, why
running! That's a word.
I do that. Yeah. We're just going to ding every
This
word.
was my hope. I like now I'm going to listen to every podcast just like ding 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 ding.
That's what we're going to do. I'm doing it.
So she's.
But so there's a hill called Port Republic, and it's a really steep hill. And she started to go down. So of course, then she would like left Donnie in the dust, and she just like was going down. She got a ticket on rollerblades.
Nice.
You almost
Yeah.
dinged.
And then I didn't. And then Sarah just did it. I
love
wanted to ding it for emphasis. I do worry that if we do it too much, that it won't mean anything.
In this episode, we're going to have to ding too
You want
much.
you
That's
want me
the
to
deal.
take them back?
No.
No.
God, no.
It's gonna make me
It was a
cry.
bad
Yeah. No, I love it. It's my
These
favorite
are,
thing
these
ever.
are so great. Oh,
Yeah.
yep.
So, nice. Thank you.
All right, so should we talk about the
Let's,
last thing that
well,
was, I didn't
yeah.
even read it, though. So
Okay, all this is that last time I remember wanting to. I asked a question, I believe, about what kind of poems do you read to people who don't like poems, and I
Yeah.
thought of one, and I was just too far gone by then, and we couldn't
couldn't find it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
and-
talked about it.
Yeah,
We were
so
willing
anyway,
to break the rule, I think.
I'm just gonna read. It's very short. It's called "The Pope's Penis"
That's
by
amazing.
Sharon Olds.
Yep.
So I'm gonna put my old man glasses on and read it.
Nice.
"The Pope's Penis" by Sharon
you're
Olds.
you're putting glasses on your face, not on
My
your
Thanks for that
business.
image.
No problem. No problem. Chode is such an amazing word. I bet it shows up in this poem, and now you know what it means.
The Pope's Chode would be a good title.
Wow. Wow. That
Are you ready?
another ding.
It's a new
That's-
T-shirt.
Come on.
The Pope's
Come
Chode.
on. You guys
I
got to
don't
be a little more
T-shirts-
mature.
No,
I don't know if anybody's
I
going
did
to
not
make
come
that
on
for
this
us.
podcast to be mature.
No.
Yeah. That was the
No,
last
certainly
podcast.
not.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, my God.
You were
that was
great
so
on that.
serious.
You were great
You
on
do
that.
serious very well, too.
Yeah.
You're
You
better
should-
at this.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
You drink beer and talk shit really well with us. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Talking shit is one of my favorite
Oh, it's
things
great.
ever.
Oh,
I probably
me
shouldn't do
too.
it while recorded so much, but
Steve, you're really starting to get some notes for our next meeting.
Yeah.
Like you're Okay, here we go.
Steve should focus more.
I
The
got a lot of
Pope's
problems with
Penis
you people.
by Sharon Olds. It hangs deep in his robes, a
Wait.
delicate clapper at the center of a bell.
We definitely
It
read
moves
this last time.
when he moves, a ghostly fish in a halo of silver seaweed, the hair swaying in the dark and the heat, and at night, while his eyes sleep, it stands up in praise of God.
We definitely read that last time.
and I fucking
did?
love
Yes.
her. She is queen. She
I don't
is
remember.
queen.
Definitely read it.
Oh my God, that's embarrassing.
With that, should we? Are we gonna call it?
I think so, maybe.
We've
We're
had.
also
I think so.
having other
Maybe.
poems
I do have
there.
another poem. This is my other
Oh,
one.
what work is?
You want to read it?
Yeah.
right.
Go for
Oh,
We're
'cause
gonna
this-
go. Okay,
You know why?
maybe we should even like erase that. Like, no.
No.
Phil made me
No.
cry.
Where did I find?
was on a phone.
So we found it on a phone and read it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We cheated.
Okay.
I think I was the one who cheated.
Wow, that was so crazy.
Yeah.
I don't remember
I'm
it.
sure.
But
It's
we're gonna
not like
find
a
out tomorrow
blackout or
when we
anything, is
listen.
it?
When we
Like-
listen to that,
Yeah.
we're gonna find out.
We will.
So
So
Yeah.
this is a poem by Phil Levine, who was one of the people that I read in college and made me want to like be a poet. And then I
Wow.
went to my MFA program and I studied under him, and he spent 20 minutes telling me how the project I was working on was the worst thing ever.
What project was it?
It was the Appalachian folk song poems. And
Well, fuck
one of
that guy.
I know one of his
Yeah.
comments was like, "Where's the lawnmower?" I'm like, "It's like the 17 and 1800s, motherfucker. There are no lawnmowers.
Yeah.
We're not putting them
They're
in there."
sheep.
But he basically wanted
Was
to
he
do.
old?
Yeah, he was really old. And that so like actually, this comes like full circle to Springsteen, because it was very much
I
like
thought it
Phil
was going to come
Levine.
full circle of boomers and why you're so angry with them.
Ooh, that's
Could
another
be.
one. But it was really about the fact that like he became famous based off his poems that were about the working class and about, in particular about his childhood and his youth. And he was the working man's poet. Like he was somebody who was like limited education, but writing poems that were like, he was a self-taught man. He was like basically the ultimate American kind of thing. But then he started being invited to teach everywhere, and he became absorbed by academia.
At Fresno.
Mm-hmm.
There's this thing called the Fresno School of Poetry because of him,
Oh, wow.
which is crazy because Fresno, if you're from California,
It's a farm town, right?
it's not glamorous.
yeah.
UC Fresno is like gotta be pretty,
Fresno State?
probably Fresno State. I don't know if is it UC Fresno or is it Fresno
Fresno
State?
No.
Yeah.
The
so
Bulldogs. I just know from
Yeah.
the American football.
The sports ball.
Yeah.
there you go.
It is.
So that's disappointing, but I'm glad to hear it because
Yeah,
you know it's
fuck him. But I still really love his poems.
Well, this one especially is great.
Yeah.
Go for
and this
it.
is the title of his this is the titular poem of his Pulitzer Prize winning work.
So we're ending on.
Should I
Titular.
should I-
Titties once again.
should I beatbox while you're
You should.
yeah?
Yeah.
If I knew how to, I
I
would.
can't.
All right, ready? Shut your faces. What work is? We stand in the rain in a long line, waiting at Ford Highland Park for work. You know what work is. If you're old enough to read this, you know what work is, although you may not do it. Forget you. This is about waiting, shifting from one foot to another. Feeling the light rain falling like mist into your hair, blurring your vision until you think you see your own brother ahead of you, maybe 10 places. You rub your glasses with your fingers, and of course, it's someone else's brother, narrower across the shoulders than yours, but with the same sad slouch, the grin that does not hide the stubbornness, the sad refusal to give in to rain, to the hours wasted waiting, to the knowledge that somewhere ahead a man is waiting who will say, "No, we're not hiring today," for any reason he wants. You love your brother. Now suddenly you can hardly stand the love flooding you for your brother, who's not beside you or behind or ahead because he's home trying to sleep off a miserable night shift at Cadillac so he can get up before noon to study his German. Works 8 hours a night so he can sing Wagner, the opera you hate most, the worst music ever invented. How long has it been since you told him you loved him, held his wide shoulders, opened your eyes wide and said those words, and maybe kissed his cheek? You've never done something so simple, so obvious, not because you're too young or too dumb, not because you're jealous or even mean or incapable of crying in the presence of another man. No, just because you don't know what work is.
Damn.
That's a good one, huh?
Fucking
like
Phil
that.
Levine.
That's
I mean,
all right.
he's the shit. Like
Yeah.
his poems,
Yeah.
absolutely, like horrible human being. But
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Thank God he's
Poems.
dead.
And on that bombshell, are we rolling out on that bombshell there?
Oh my god!
I guess so, yeah.
Jesus
great.
Christ!
Sarah, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
You're
so
the
again.
much
best.
for having me.
My
back.
God,
Yeah,
that's
anytime.
always fun.
Anytime.
Come back for
was a good
whatever.
time.
I mean,
I assume you'll start a podcast and invite us to Long Island.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
the moon over water.
Yeah.
Would be a great name. Yeah. Why has it got to be underwater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there it is.
These will be absolutely overused, and I cannot wait.
Mhm.
Thanks, everybody.
We did it. Nice job. Nice job, buddy.
Oh, hi. Hi.